Welcome in then to the latest edition of Extra Time. Thank you as always for your tweets. Shaka Hislop is here with me in the studio, I promise. Should we see Shaka? Do you want to see Shaka? He's got his tie on.
Yeah.
He's looking lovely.
I dressed up for
There
Sundays.
he is. Shaka's there with his tie on. Also with us, Frank Leboeuf and Stevie Nicol. Frank, let's start with you. Do you believe that Werner can play as a number 9 like today? Or it's going to be Tammy or Giroud? What do you believe is Chelsea's best attacking lineup currently?
Well, according to what we saw lately, I think Giroud should be in the first position on the pole position to be placed as a number 9, as a striker. On him, should be around him on the left, or mostly on the left because Ziyech is going to play on the right. But I don't see him as a striker. We saw him struggling against big defenders in the Premier League. Well, he maybe needs times to adapt, but right now I see Giroud as a savior for Chelsea as a striker.
Wow, Giroud as a savior. What a moment.
That is a strong statement by Frank.
And what do you make of Frank's look? Would you go for something like that? Could you pull that off?
I'm not sure I can pull that off now.
No,
That's very French.
No, that's very English. It's a Welsh, how do you call that texture? It's a Welsh Prince, I don't know.
Tweed?
You call that Prince de Galles.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, tweed. It's like Prince de Galles. Yeah, It's very English.
Tweed
Scottish, Frank. Tweed Scottish, not Welsh.
Oh dear.
Sorry.
Here comes the fashion police.
It's Prince de Galles.
Apology accepted.
As long as it's not English, you're safe.
Stevie, I'm watching an absolute defensive turnaround by Manchester City with the Diaz-Stones duo clicking instantly. Do any of the panellists have any stories of a partnership they had which they knew would work from the first time they played with them?
Oh, John Barnes. It doesn't get any easier than that. Stephen, I'd like to play left back behind John Barnes. What do you think? I think we'll be fine.
Why, for those who don't know, Stevie, does that put such a big smile on your face?
I mean, it's about as easy as a question as there is, isn't it?
Right, why are you making this so difficult?
What are you talking about?
What was it about the partnership with you and John Barnes that was so successful right from the start?
Well, I think like most partnerships, when you can read each other and understand each other's position and actually know where the other one's going to be just instinctively, then it's a lethal combination. It really is about, sometimes you just play a pass blind without even looking because you know the person's going to be there and he knows that he can do the same with you. It's just one of those situations that you're just connected.
Frank?
Steve Clark, Scottish guy, Steve.
Clark, yeah, manager of Scotland right now.
The first time that I played for Chelsea, the first year, I mean, that was absolutely fantastic. We felt the connection, and we didn't need to talk, and we covered each other very well. And also, I have to say, Mark Hughes, Welsh guy that time, who was playing at front at Chelsea, and he was a real breath for me. When I was in danger, when I felt that we were dropping too much and I was getting the ball back, I was aiming him and I was feeling where he was running, where he was going. That was amazing, and he was giving us a breath and allowed us to go further up to be better on the field. So Marcus was absolutely outstanding for Chelsea and for me.
Jack?
I'll tell you what, by the way, Frank, on top of that, Mark Hughes has got to be one of the best old centre forwards that could run the line. For any centre back or any full back, when you have to play a ball forward, you can actually have it 5 or 10 yards off, and when you've got somebody like Mark Hughes up front, he turns it into a good ball because he's so strong. And as a defender, try to mark Mark Hughes, an absolute nightmare. I mean, you talk about strong. He had thighs. His thighs were twice the size of everybody else's. Ooh. And I remember playing against him when he was at Man United. And I'd had enough of him, and I thought, right, I'm going to boot him. And I rattled him as hard as I could. I thought I broke my foot. He never even budged. He never even blinked. I was hobbling about for about half an hour. But when you have a guy like Frank up front, it's fantastic for defenders to pick him out.
What about you, Shaq? Did you have like a partnership with a defender you could rely on?
Ian Pearce was my favourite centre-half to play in behind. And I played behind some incredible defenders, Stuart Pearce, Philippe Albert.
Yep.
But Ian Pearce for me was I always knew where he would be. And I could take my position off of him, and we just had a really good partnership on and off the field.
Stevie, was your team ever upset in a cup by a lower league minnow? If so, how embarrassing was it?
Well, the only ones really I can remember were just when I joined Liverpool. You know, I know what the FA Cup is about now, but at the time, I'd just come from Scotland. And obviously we had heard about the FA Cup, but to be involved in it, and there was 2 games. The first two years I was there, the first game was at Chelsea, when Chelsea were in the 2nd division at the time, and Liverpool were European champions. And I remember the dressing room after the game. You know, hard-nosed pros. You know, people like Phil Neal and Kenny and Graham Souness and Terry McDermott and all these guys that had been through everything before. I've never seen them so dejected. Because at that stage, they hadn't won the FA Cup for Liverpool.
Right.
They'd won everything else. And the dressing room was an absolute morgue. And the same thing happened the year after that at Brighton as well. Brighton away at the old Goldstone ground. Same thing, got beat in the 3rd round. Oh my goodness. I mean, those 2 in particular, when I realised what the FA Cup meant to both players and everybody in England.
What about you, Frank? Did you ever lose to a lower league team when you were at Chelsea?
No, nothing I remember. We almost been kicked out by Oxford City once, but I got a penalty at the last minute, and we had to replay the game at Stamford Bridge. And then
Let's give you some fireworks.
So,
fireworks to celebrate.
You see. I'm going back to that. You love it. You love my fireworks. You know. You don't work. Don't want to work.
What a Panenka was it?
Voila. We are back to the studio. No, but with Strasbourg, I had a couple of awful games in the French Cup that nobody remembers. But the worst for me, the first game of the World Cup against Senegal with France.
Of course.
In 2002.
Yeah. When
we lost against the Senegalese 1-0. And I think we hit the post like 3-4 times, but we had an awful game. And at the end of the day, deserved to win. And we very friendly. You know, France is very friendly with Senegal, and I have friends from Senegal, and we keep on talking about it, and we congratulate Senegalese because we've been bad and they've been very good, and that's what you have to accept. But that was very embarrassing.
Very much World Cup in Japan, yeah. Shaq, what about you?
I think I was talking about this yesterday. I just looked it up. It was Newcastle against Stevenage.
I remember that, yeah.
Because we got drawn away to Stevenage. And Kenny Dalglish was trying to move the game to St James's Park and convince Stevenage that would be better for them. And then Sky came in and said, upped how much they'd pay Stevenage for...
This is deja vu. We did this in extra time 2 days ago, didn't we?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we did it. Was it yesterday or 2 days ago?
Maybe people aren't who regular viewers.
I thought it was me.
But I couldn't remember who it was against.
You see.
It was Stevenage.
Stevenage.
We ended up drawing with Stevenage at Stevenage, and then went back to St James's Park where you won. That was in the 3rd round, and Newcastle went all the way to the FA Cup final that year, 1998.
Oh, nice.
Which they lost the final.
But you didn't play in the final?
I didn't play in that 98 final.
Why not?
I was on the bench. Shea Given.
Oh, I mean, Shea Given.
Oh, no, Shea's good. I like Shea.
Oh, well, I'm sure he's glad to hear.
Yeah.
Okay, this answer might differ as to who's answering. Let's start with you, Frank. How long does it generally take to recover from a game?
2 full days for me. I mean, 48 hours, the second day, of the 48 hours are the worst for me. The day after, I could play another game. I don't feel anything, but really 24 hours after a game, I start to feel the tightness, and then I'm awful the second day, and I'm okay the third day. So it's why when we had the Boxing Day and we had to play the 26th and the 28th, and I did, I think, only once or twice, that was awful because I felt all the kicks, all the tightness. Were awful day.
Stevie?
Well, depend where you went after the game. I used to always, if we played on a Saturday, I always used to feel bad on a Monday.
Right.
But then there'd probably been out Saturday night and all day Sunday, so I wouldn't feel bad on a Monday, so I'm not really sure.
And Shaka, for you, it doesn't really count. No, you don't have any time to recover.
Because in the field, I keep telling you that.
Really?
48 hours.
The same.
As well.
Now, were you the same? First 24 hours, you're fine, and it hits you the second day.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Several weeks ago, Stevie said that match balls nowadays are much lighter and easier to kick than they were in his playing days. Shaka and Frank, do you agree?
Yes, absolutely. The balls back when we were playing were slightly heavier, and the flight, well, from a goalkeeping perspective, the flight was a whole lot truer. You wouldn't have the kind of bend and the dip that the balls nowadays have, so it was easier for goalkeepers in that regard.
So it was easier for you back in the day than it is now?
Yes.
Frank?
I agree with Shaka for goalkeepers. I think for strikers, you know, it's harder to aim the net when you feel that the ball can go high very quickly and fly like, I don't know, like a beach ball, you know, where you don't have the consistency of a football. And I don't like the ball that they have nowadays. I think they're too light, and it's maybe easier to play with, but it's not easier when you want to kick a long ball because you really have to adjust.
When playing an away match, Shaka, where you grew up and have family and friends, how much of a pain was it to get tickets to everyone who wanted to come and see you play? Did clubs allocate you a set number of tickets? Did it cost you a few pounds?
A bit of both, and it obviously depends on where the game is.
Yeah.
But the club allocates you season tickets. I think usually it was 4 back in the day, and depending on where it was, you could go to your teammates. You're using your tickets. If not,
who would give you the tickets?
Again, it just depends on where you were. If you were in London, you couldn't go to the London boys from London and ask them for tickets. So
right.
It could be anybody.
Yeah.
And that kind of varies.
But I think I heard Peter Crouch saying it was the captain who was in charge of allocating the tickets. Did that happen?
No.
Wait, no?
Well, in my experience, you would go. There would be an office.
Secretary.
Yeah. And you go and you get your 4 tickets.
Right.
Before the game or whatever it is, and if there's a player who's not from that town or whatever, using your tickets, can I get 2 or wherever it is, and try to stack them up that way.
There's no StubHub back in those days.
No StubHub.
Was there any?
What?
Well, the captain would allocate the lounge tickets.
What were the lounge tickets, Stevie?
Game tickets.
What were they?
Getting the players' lounge.
I know,
Well, to get people
to explain. People might not know what it is.
Well, lounge tickets. So the players lounge after a game. So the Shaq's in. So at home, then the captain would allocate all the lounge tickets to all the players for home games for people to get in the lounge after the game. The problem is at Liverpool we had a tiny wee lounge, and so you actually got 4 tickets for the game, but you could only get 2 lounge tickets, which was a complete and utter disaster.
Oh no, Stevie.
So
did you leave Mrs. Nicol out? She'd be out of the lounge.
Well, she hardly came to the games anyway. I ended up having the kids at the games, and then a friend of mine would look after the kids, and then I'd take the kids home after the game.
But that's quite.
Yeah, that was a pest.
It's a bit faffy for the captain, isn't it, to be organising all the lounge tickets?
Oh, it's a nightmare.
You think somebody else would want that job? He could just allocate.
Yeah, no, captain gets all those rotten jobs to do.
Yeah, go on, Frank.
I have 2 stories. I remember playing Champions League with Chelsea, and we played in Marseille, which is my the city where I grew up, and I have 50 people willing to come. So you deal with the other player who don't need tickets, and you try to get all of them. But I think it cost me a fortune to buy like 30 tickets for them. But I remember also another game for Chelsea where I was friends with Ellie McPherson, the Australian model. I invited her to a game. Yeah, nothing special, just a friend. Take it easy.
Just a friend.
Oh yeah.
Just a friend. Really much a friend. Her husband or her ex-husband was there.
No, but
Ex-husband,
it's
it's getting worse.
Ever since that game, things started to unravel.
Oh, do you need those
No,
fireworks?
everything went
Honestly,
well.
just friends. We're just friends. Yeah, we're just friends. Just friends.
Everything went well. No, everything went well, And the thing is, I got tickets from Gianluca Vialli. Was very much happy to give me his 2 comps to make sure that Ellie McPherson will be on the presidential seats.
I bet.
Frank, I thank him for that.
What about the World Cup final, Frank?
I think we had like one comp for our wives.
Yeah, we know who that went to.
Wife? yeah. Ellie McPherson wasn't there.
Frank, did Ellie do it again?
She wasn't available, so she couldn't come. But we had 30 tickets we could buy if we wanted to. So I bought like 14 tickets for my parents, my wife's parents, and my kids, and the brothers, the sisters, and everything. So
What about Elle's parents? Did you get hold of them?
They flew over from Australia. They're all there.
Yeah.
Stephen, what about like FA Cup finals? That must have been tricky as well.
Oh, that I don't remember.
Yeah, that was. Well, the thing is, the wives were taken care of by the club.
Right.
So any tickets we got were for friends or other family. I never actually had a problem with the cup finals, to be honest.
What about you, Shaq, when you're in the cup final?
I can't remember how many tickets we got, but
How many kids did you have like that?
4.
Right, okay.
So so that kind of took
that's
my
that.
comps
Yeah.
all gone. After that, you have to buy a few, and going
It's
to.
been careful, everyone wants too many children, Shaq. Does Shaka actually know what power rankings are?
Well, I'll have you know, I started off 2021 with an exceptional power rankings.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
According to who?
Yeah. Who said that?
I checked the neutral blogs.
Oh man, I want to say something. I want to say it, but I can't, Shaka. Oh, I can't say it. Okay, final question. Stevie, any ideas on what a killie pie is? I had Chris Sutton saying that it's the favourite pie for every Scotsman. So my mum was like, what about the pie that one of the pundits of your favourite TV show always talks about? By the way, she's referring to you and your shepherd's pie, Stevie.
Dan, unfortunately, I never heard any of that. You kept coming in and out. So can you repeat it?
Yes, I'll repeat it in very short. What is a killie pie?
A killie pie. Well, you get them in Kilmarnock.
Right.
You get them at Rugby Park in Kilmarnock. Well, Rugby Park is the name of the stadium that Kilmarnock
We don't
play
care
in.
about the stadium name. What's the part? What is
What's
it?
in it?
What is in it?
Oh, I don't know. I never played with Kelly, did I? And when I was playing there, I was on the field. So I wasn't buying a pie.
I don't know, Stevie, from what you were saying after matches.
Trying to tell us.
Is it better than a shepherd's pie? Was the point?
Don't
really?
be silly.
No.
Don't be
There you
silly.
go.
No way.
How is the diet,
Not one of
Stevie?
Elmer's,
How
anyway.
many pounds have you lost?
5.
Well done. Well done, Stevie. Very good. There you are. Applause all round. That's it.
Thank you all. Thank you all.
Shaka's going to check out his your
Neutral
forums.
blogs.
I don't think that's the thing. ESPN FC will be back tomorrow. I don't know what we're talking about, but I'm sure it'll be very interesting and fascinating. Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.